Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I want to talk about business most people only notice in the middle of a disaster: board up services, emergency glass, and property securing. This first image shows a car crash into the front of a business. The damage is sudden, the interest is destroyed, and the owner still has a basic problem. Business may need to continue, but the property is now exposed. That is the hidden business model right there. The visible product is plywood or temporary glass. The hidden business is selling control over property during its most vulnerable moments. Now, this slide shows broken windows at a commercial office property. That matters because every board up job begins with a fire or storm. Sometimes it starts with vandalism, break ins, unrest, or just random wanton destruction. This visible product is shattered glass. The hidden business is the urgent need to stop a damaged property from becoming even more vulnerable to weather, trespass, theft, and liabilities. Now, this image widens the lane beyond crime and accidents in the store damage. A house has roof and exterior damage, and its openings are exposed. That matters because when the building envelope fails, time starts working against the owner. Rain, wind, debris, and water intrusion can all make a bad situation worse. This visible product is storm cleanup. The hidden business is temporary stabilization before full restoration begins. Now, this slide is especially interesting because it shows workers boring up before the storm arrives. That means the business is not only reactive, it can also sell preparedness. The visible product is plywood over windows. The hidden business is charging for risk reduction before damage even occurs. Now, this image shows emergency tarping after a fire. That matters because fire often creates a second emergency after the flames are out. The structure may be open to weather, partially unstable, and at risk of theft or more water damage. The visible product is a tarp. The hidden business is buying time until insurers, adjusters, and restoration crews can take over. Now, this slide shows a glass silver truck at a liquor store. This is a strong business image because it makes clear that board up services are often tied to commercial retail, especially business with lots of exposed glass. The visible product is a boarded window. The hidden business is protecting revenue by helping the store avoid a longer shutdown. Now, this image reinforces that same point. Liquor stores, convenience stores, and storefront businesses are high frequency clients because they are vulnerable to break ins, vandalism, and after hours damage. The visible product is plywood on a storefront. The hidden business is temporary control over a revenue generating property until permanent repairs can be made. Now, this slide shows workers actively repairing or securing damaged windows. That matters because this lane sits right at the boundary between temporary protection and permanent repair. The visible product is a worker at the window. The hidden business is bridging the gap between damage and full restoration. Now, this image introduces the residential and insurance angle. A house is fully boarded, and the scene clearly suggests an insurance related securement after damage or tenant vacancy. That matters because board up services are not only about storefront crime, they are also about preserving claim value, protecting vacant homes, and preventing secondary loss before the next phase of work begins. Now, this slide is one of the strongest in this deck because it shows a jewelry store boarded up after a break in. Jewelry stores represent high value targets, so securement after a breach becomes especially urgent. The visible product is plywood and the service van. The hidden business is protecting a high risk asset at the exact moment it is most exposed. Now, this image shows a shattered glass entryway at an AT&T store after what appears to be a robbery or forced entry. That matters because it captures how quickly ordinary retail becomes a security emergency. The visible product is broken glass. The hidden business is the urgent need for someone to show up immediately and restore temporary order. Now, this final slide closes the loop. A worker is boarding up the damaged storefront after the break in, and the cycle begins again. Breach, exposure, emergency response, temporary protection, then later repair. That is the hidden business model in full. Board up services are not just about plywood, they are about monetizing the vulnerable gap between loss and repair when the owner most needs time, control, and risk reduction. Thank you.